In today's economic environment, the prospect of redundancy can become an unexpected reality for any number of people and an unsettling concern for many others. Regardless of your current situation and future intentions, you'll need to make some important decisions about your finances. The choices you make now could have a significant impact on your financial future. With your personal circumstances, you need to consider, can you meet your financial commitments? What employer payments are you entitled to? What's the impact on your superannuation? What sort of government assistance is available? What level of insurance do you have? And most importantly, how do you move forward? Gaining a sound understanding of your current financial position is the first and most important step in laying the foundation for a clear direction to move forward. Now, this usually involves identifying your living expenses, quantifying your debt, planning any future expenses that you may have. Once you've ascertained these, you can then look at whether you have sufficient funds to meet your retirement needs going forward. When you leave your employer, you may receive a range of payments that relate to your current employment, and in some situations, compensation for your dismissal. The value of these payments is usually specified in industrial awards or employment contracts. You may receive a payment for entitlements such as accrued annual leave, accrued long service leave, unused rostered days off, unused sick leave, payments in lieu of notice, an ex gratia payment. You may also be entitled to receive different types of payments from your employer, depending on the circumstances surrounding the loss of your job. These payments generally fall within 4 categories, and each has different tax implications. There are redundancy payments, there are eligible termination payments, there are approved early retirement schemes, and there are other forms of termination payments such as your final pay, accrued annual leave or long service leave. There are also a number of considerations you need to think about in terms of your superannuation upon redundancy. The first step is to identify whether you're eligible to access the funds you've accumulated in the superannuation environment. To be eligible to access your superannuation, you need to have attained preservation age, which is 55 and upwards depending on your date of birth, and also whether you've met a condition of release, such as ceased what's known as gainful employment. Your superannuation entitlements will generally fall into one of 3 categories. You've got your preserved component, your restricted non-preserved component, and your unrestricted non-preserved component. Now, whilst all of this sounds very complicated, all you need to know is each of those components has different tax implications. In the event that you decide to redeem part or all of your superannuation, the amount of tax which you pay on the sum will depend on your age and the amount being withdrawn. But it is important in relation to that you do seek advice, because it can have pretty significant impacts on your position going forward. In the event of a job loss, this also presents the opportunity to reassess your career goals and objectives. In the current economic climate, you may decide to pursue a new career direction. And if you don't have another job lined up, you may also be eligible to receive government assistance, provided you meet the assets and income test. It's worth noting that any payments which you have received from your employer may result in a waiting period from Centrelink until you actually receive a payment. And by notifying Centrelink, they'll actually give you the idea in terms of how long that waiting period will actually be. The loss of a job is not the end of the world. While it may cause a great deal of emotional distress and financial upheaval, there are some clear steps that you can take to ensure your personal well-being and your family's interests are protected and maintained. Now, these include quantifying your payments, minimising your tax obligations, reviewing your superannuation, reviewing your insurance, assessing your future cash flow, structuring or restructuring an investment portfolio, protecting your assets, reviewing your estate planning needs. So if you have any questions and would like advice in relation to how your financial position can be maximised, please don't hesitate to contact us.